What's going on, everybody? Rob here, aka Trev2323. Today I'm doing some yard work with getting the dirt ready because we're gonna be planting some blueberry bushes and some raspberry bushes. And this is asparagus. These are asparagus seeds. And apparently you're supposed to soak the asparagus seeds. These are Mary Washington asparagus seeds. There's about 50 of them being soaked because the outer shell is so hard that they recommend that you soak them so they can break through that harder shell easier. But I just put them in the water last night, so I'm just gonna get the dirt prepped, but they will go in the dirt today. I got a blue 55-gallon drum. I'm gonna cut in half, drill holes in the bottom. We're gonna do that. Then I bought some nice decorative pots to put the blueberry bushes. This is almost like urban homesteading. I didn't even know that was a term, but we got a whole garden on the side of the house, and I'll show you how it's working. Okay, this is the side of my house that gets full sun all day long. And there are so many tomatoes to be picked. Now these are the cherry tomatoes over here. Cherry tomatoes. There's so much to be picked. And I found this so much more easier. I mean, I tried the bucket tomatoes. I tried to put them in the ground. I don't like weeding. You see, all my tomatoes are in cinder blocks. They're in cinder blocks. Look at them. Now what I tried doing is I tried staking them and putting the rope around, the garden rope around the stake. You see a lot of them fell. A lot of them fell. Look at that whole bunch is ready right there. Okay, so then if you come down here, I got my cucumbers. Look at that cucumber right there. Bam! That cucumber right there. And I got a whole bunch of babies on this vine over here. Whole bunch of baby cucumbers coming in right here. Okay, so these were the early, this is aroma, and you see it fell. I know it fell, but this is aroma. Man, that's gonna be a hard one to reach back there, but these are the early girls right here. Those are the early girls. And then there's another cucumber. These are aromas right here. They're not turning just yet. Here's some more early girls. Look at all those are ready. All those are ready. Oh, I gotta get that one off the ground. But here's aroma. Look at that aroma tomato. Amazing. Now this is some more over here. These are my jalapeno peppers. Look at the jalapenos coming in. The jalapenos. Nothing on the Tabascos yet. Okay, so I had this, and we had all kind of salads in there. But I didn't like the way that was because the salads can only come through here. So what I'm gonna do is separate them all and have them all separated, redo the dirt and put baby spinach in those, but have those separated now longwise. And this is celery. This is actually celery in here. Right here I gotta weed it some, but that's celery in there. Okay, so this row is just hostas. I trimmed them back already, but with the hostas, I got a whole row of hostas, but my wife does not want me to. I want one of those bead things for the honey that you turn the plastic hives and you get the honey out of them. I want my honey. My wife doesn't want all the bees with that, and she can't have honey now anyways. So we got just hostas lined up because the sprouts of the hostas, the bees love them. Then I cut them back. But also, did you know hostas are edible? So this is our Walking Dead zombie apocalypse plant we have here. Yeah, hostas are edible. The shoot that comes out in the beginning, the stalk, is edible, and they say it tastes like asparagus, and then the leaves are edible, and the Japanese been eating them for centuries like tempura. So this is the front of the house that we've got going on here. I miracle grow my begonias. Oh, I love seeing bees on my plants. I miracle grow my begonias, so that's why those are so big. And these are my geraniums. I probably am going to go straight begonias all on the front of the house because begonias are doing okay in the evening shade. Geraniums always fight to keep those. And this is a Shasta daisy. They bloom beautiful, but I'm not having any luck with them. Well, either way, let me get going on the rest of the plants. We're gonna get some dirt ready for this. Is another, these are Shasta daisies and mums. What kills me in the mums is we're in Chicago, and what happens is the season changes so fast that I get all the green foliage from the mums, and then if it changes too fast, I get no flowers. So let me get the dirt ready because I gotta mix some manure. I always use Miracle Grow dirt, manure, and I got some really nice pots that I'm gonna drill through. Okay, so I pre-chose my spots. Those are beautiful pots, ain't they? I pre-chose my spots for my bushes, my blueberries and raspberries. I'm gonna have 2 blueberries on the out and 1 raspberry on the middle. Now these pots are plastic, but I'm gonna drill a hole through the bottom. Now 2 things why I drill a hole through the bottom, and that's why I love these right here, okay? Because I tried the bucket gardening. There's a bucket right here. You drill a hole towards the bottom, so this way you don't overwater your plants, and they always have a place to drip out and leach out, so they're not overwatered. But why I like this, especially when we've been getting some terrible like 90-degree heat, is that even though it gives them places to drain, they can drain, but also if they need water, they can still pull water from the ground. So that's why I love this cinder block garden. I was worried that the cinder blocks would dry out and dry it out more, but further down they still absorb water. So I'm actually putting probably a 2.5 inch, 3-inch hole on the bottom of these pots. They're not going to be moved. These pots are not going to be moved. So I'm going to put a 2.5 or 3-inch hole right in the center of the bottom so they could drain. But not only they could drain, this is winter time. We're going to wrap these in burlap and plastic over the winter, and they'll be able to get some heat from the ground. Because I mean, these are the ones I purchased are weather tolerant for this weather. Although you still want them, you don't want the root to get frozen. Okay, this is what my Mary Washingtons are going to go in. My asparagus, I'm going to cut this in half. On this one, I'm just going to take out the 2 tops, drill a hole in the bottom. I'm going to cut this in half. Mary Washingtons, you're going to have to wait at least 2 years for them to propagate. Let me show you this. Side of the garage, full sun all day long. That one right there, you are going to get morning sun. When the garage ends, you start getting morning sun. So that seems like you get sun earlier, but that gets sun later. So in the middle, you get decent amount of sun. Morning sun all along the front right here. So you got to kind of check to find out where your sun is at. Now this side of the house where I say urban homestead is full sun all day long. This side back here, you get morning sun, but it's not a lot of hours of morning sun. As you can see on this side, you get more sunlight, but you have to interact with the sidewalk right here. Now in the front of our house, we get evening sun, and that's why the begonias do good and not so much the geraniums, because this is evening sun right here. See, the geraniums, I'm fighting to get them propagated, but the begonias are doing really, really, really good. So that's for the Mary Washingtons. And for my soil, for my bushes, we're doing blueberry and raspberry bushes right now. Moisture control potting mix soil right here. Cow manure right there. And peat moss right here. Okay. So peat moss is supposed to be for your blueberries. This is what I've been reading, so we're going to vlog this. We're going to follow along. Peat moss is mixed in the blueberries. Cow manure is mixed in the raspberries. Leftover cow manure at the end of the season, I'm pulling all the plants out of this. All the plants out of this, getting the dirt out of all the cinder blocks. I always use my wheelbarrow, and that's where I mix everything in my wheelbarrow. So all this right here, everything I got is going to be mixed in here, bucket by bucket, so I know exactly what's going in each bucket. Now the leftover that I have is going to go in for the Mary Washingtons. I'm going to cut that 55-gallon food grade barrel in half, and that's where the asparagus is going to go. And the asparagus, I'm going to set it and forget it. It's going to sit there for at least 2 years. I'm weeded all next year and everything, but that's what that is. Now I got another one of these, another food grade barrel, because if you want to make wine with food grade barrel, you can make your wine in your 55-gallon food grade barrel. You could ferment in your food grade barrel. But also I got one of these because I want to put a lot of minnows, because there's not a lot of minnow shops over here for fishing. So what I want to actually do is turn it sideways, cut the top off of it, put a filter in there, and use it just for my minnows, because there's not a lot of places for minnows. So let's start mixing up this dirt right here. Okay, so since I'm the king of not putting away my tools, I could not find my 3.5-inch hole saw. So that means there's going to be 3 1-inch holes in the bottom of this right here. I'm going to try to, let's see, spread them out a little bit. Put them right in between. Nut. 2 fasteners. 1, 2. Put one right off center. I don't want it in the center right here. I curve that. 3. All right, now they say, well, you're gonna lose rigidity. You're gonna lose whatever. This is going in the dirt right there. Not only is it going to drain, it's actually gonna get some heat from the bottom also. So I'm doing this to all 3 of them right now. Get a mixture of peat moss and potting soil. Raspberry, cow manure, peat humus, potting soil. I'm gonna do the blueberries first, and I'm gonna have a blueberry all the way at the one end and all the way at the other end, and in the middle right here is gonna be the raspberry. It just happened like this. Oh, look at, I love the bumblebees. There's a bee right down there. There he goes. Love seeing that. One bag of peat moss. I actually do this by hand, so this way I don't get the start spilling all over with the shovel. This actually should fill the 2 pots that I have. Potting soil because I got 3 pots to fill up. This is 2 cubic feet right here, and that's gonna all, you know, come down some. I don't got the plants yet. Let me part 2 to the video because I don't got the plants yet. But when they come in, I'm gonna do an unboxing because they're being Federal Expressed from fastgrowingtrees.com, and they got such good reviews on the shipping. That's why we chose them. Okay, now this is the cow manure and the peat humus. Sat in my van for like 3 days. It doesn't smell. It does not smell. Cow manure, peat humus looks just like dirt. Oh, my battery's about to die. Looks just like dirt. Does not smell at all. So I'm gonna mix this in right here, and this one's for the raspberries. Talked to one of my friends, and he's a big time, you know, gardener, and he says he looks for 1-year-old cow manure. He said it'll last for 5 years if you find. He said you can't use the cow manure right then and there. He says you let it sit to the side or compost for 1 year. He says then if you put that in the ground, it's good for 5 years. So I don't know if that's true. Let me get this in the last pot over here. Alright, so I ran to Wally World to get more dirt. I still got to cut this in half for the Mary Washingtons. And as I was at Wally World, they did not have my big Miracle Grow. So I got Expert Gardener Indoor Outdoor Container Plants potting soil. Like $5.80 a bag, I think. And since I was there, they had on clearance Swiss chard and romaine lettuce. This was 25 bucks. My wife don't know about that, but I know she would love this pot. So I picked up the pot also. So now what I'm going to do is cut this in half, and I know I'm gonna not have enough soil for both of them. So for right now, I'm probably just gonna actually use the top half because I could just unscrew those out, and there's the drain holes. Cut this in half, and that's gonna be for the Mary Washingtons. Now that yellow pot in the front, I told you it's a stack high. I'm gonna take it apart, put soil in it, and I'm gonna put the basil and oregano inside of that. So let me get this cut open right now, cut in half. Right here's a lifesaver, not a lifesaver, but got 4 outlets on it, holds 100 feet, plugs right into the garage, and it got 4 outlets. I used to use this one right here, but you would have to take everything out just to plug it in. This right here plugs right in. It don't come with the wire, but it was 17 bucks, and then you got your cord right here. So this is just a regular angle grinder. Actually, it's a masonry bit. I'm gonna eyeball it and cut all the way around.
I'm just gonna get it soft. It's melting.
Rinse it out, and that's what I'm going to grow the Mary Washingtons in. Okay, so this is where my Mary Washingtons are going, next to the raspberries. There's Mary Washington's going to be there. I got 50 seeds. Now this is going to be too little space for 50 seeds. I don't have enough dirt to put them in both, so I'll transplant them. Let me just get them propagated, let me get them grown, and then by fall I could transfer them and get more dirt. This is going to be the raspberries. They're going to be side by side. I'm probably going to mulch in all right there. What I don't like about this is it's sitting, see, on the sidewalk right here. My snowblower goes through this, but also the rain drips. So what I'm probably gonna do is wrap this with plastic on an angle so the rain don't drip in there or the ice in the winter time. So I'm gonna mix up, I got some more of the manure right here. I'm gonna mix up some manure. On the porch I got some leftover potting soil from the regular plants, and then I got the other soil. Start mixing this all together, and the Mary Washingtons are going in right here. I'm not starting them inside, I'm starting them outside. I set it and forget it. Now over here I got some onions, and the onions are coming in all right. Baby, you can't even see it right now, but baby onion sprouts are coming in there right now. Okay, so these are the Mary Washingtons. There's 50 of them in here. 50 Mary Washington. I soaked them for, I venture to say, maybe 12 hours. They say you gotta soak them so it loosens up the seed rate, the seed itself, so it can propagate. There's 4 cubic feet of soil. I used the Walmart brand Expert, but I did mix in the cow manure with it, and there's 4 cubic feet right there. So I'm gonna put these seeds all around and then lightly cover the top. So I'll keep you posted on this. Whoa, the wind blew. And then now the little yellow ones, I'm gonna start the little yellow ones. I'm gonna take, it's a 5-stack tie, but I'm gonna take it apart and do them individually. Washington seeds, I got 50 of them, and I just lightly went over them. Then I'm gonna water them. If all 50 don't grow, I really don't care right now. I think I paid $4.50 for the seeds, $4.50 for the 50 seeds. Truthfully, that'll be enough for me and my wife. But the only thing I don't mind is I got a hard water line right here for where the water comes down. So I'm thinking in here I'm going to get a hard water line in here, but I got 4 drain holes in the bottom. So if I get the hard water line in here, as long as my crop's growing right there, I'm good, because my tomato plants are doing good. Let me get the other pots ready now. Oh, this is what I'm tackling right now. The good thing, I tell you, the good thing with this is it has the bowl at the bottom to not let everything dry out. Although only part of it, when it's filled, only part of it gets the sunlight, so you don't really get anything in there, and you just get small stuff right here. So I feel if they're all separated, you can actually grow more stuff in it than when it's stacked on top of each other. I know the color's fading, but I just reuse all my pots and actually running out of dirt, so I'm gonna pull all this out right here, get as best as I can, and then reuse all that dirt. I have 1 more bag of garden soil left. I got some romaine and some Swiss chard, so I'm gonna get those potted in a nice pot for my wife. But I want to mix all the soil together. What's going on, everybody? Rob here, aka Triv2323. This is the prequel and the ending at the same time of my little, I guess they call it urban homesteading. I mean, I still go to work. I'm not full-time gardener or anything like that, but I do like plants. I finally got this swept off. I do want to get a little hose with a spigot right here for I don't have to have, I got 2 hoses, one for the front and one for the side. I'll show you why. But I do have my parsley and my onions, my buncheon onions coming up. My parsley, my buncheon onions, baby spinach. Those are my begonias. My begonias are my go-to for my color in front of the house. But we got Swiss chard, romaine lettuce. Look at that pot. My wife loves that pot. Now I just started it. It's late in the season, August 1st. 30 to 45 days for these to propagate, but I want them to propagate out here, and I'll take them inside. These are the oreganos and the basil. This I call my diesel. That's diesel. That's my plant for. It comes outside in the summertime. It is so big. If anybody wants a baby, they can have a baby of it. I gotta prune it still, but it's an air cleaner. It cleans the air inside the house, and that's why I love it. Okay. Coming around the front, I finished it. I would always put in-ground plants every year. This is kind of a set it and forget it, where all I got to do is the pots now. The pots, those are geraniums. As you see, I got to clean the geraniums because this is not a geranium. And all these, so I got to clean. I do got to come in here and clean this out. But this is not what I'm talking to you about today. So let me clean that out right now. Alrighty, there you go. All right, those are lilies, hosta. What is this thing? Shasta daisy. Another begonia I had down there. And there's a mum in the back. Those are almost atrocious to kill. Shouts out for Liz Mom Rosado painted that for us. Okay, so here's my gardening part. This is all hostas now. And I tell you, and all the time in my channels, I love hostas because they attract the bees, and I love bees because we need them in this world. No chemicals at all over here. No chemicals at all organic. So all these hostas right here, there's with the bees, when you treat your plants with all the bug sprays and all that, when the bees go in there, you kill the bees off. So that's why. And hostas are edible. I bet you didn't know that. Aha. Okay, so there's the other side of the pot. My wife absolutely loves that pot. I want to go get her some more. This right here is celery. That's gonna be sage. This right here I got ready. That's peat soil, peat moss, and soil, because I got a blueberry bush coming for that. Another hosta. There's jalapeno peppers. Look at all those jalapeno peppers. All those jalapeno peppers. Guess what? I don't eat jalapeno peppers, but I grow peppers for salsa. All right. So that is gonna be. I actually got that for the color. That's Tabasco pepper. This is gonna be a roseberry. Roseberry, redberry, roseberry, some kind of berry coming in right here. Now all my tomato plants are in cinder blocks. I do not like weeding. I tried the bucket planting with the tomato plants, and I really didn't like it. You got your bucket, you drill a hole in the bottom, so if there's any more too much moisture, it drips out. I did not like it. I swear by the cinder block tomato plants. Now I stopped gardening years ago. It's I don't got time for that. Well, with things changing in the world, and you see hard to get products from overseas and all that, I started gardening again. So I got early boy tomatoes, Roma tomatoes, and cherry tomatoes, and I got cucumbers, and I'm propagating. Look at a big cucumber right there. Can you see a cucumber? That cucumber down there. I'm actually getting rid of this air conditioner. It was covered up, the plastic cover, but the cucumber grew over it, and there's cucumbers growing right in here. Kind of big ones already growing in here also. There it is right there. All right, so I'm gonna get rid of that air conditioner, get that window back available, and stay tuned for that because it might be geothermal going through there. All right, so this is gonna be another blueberry bush, and I'm propagating this right here. This is a 55-gallon cut in half. 4 cubic feet of soil is in there, and that's asparagus. Now I know it's late in the season for asparagus. I know this. I'm just trying to start the crop here, and then we're gonna put a greenhouse over this, and we're gonna put a greenhouse over the bushes at the end of the season. Okay, now over here we have the cherry tomatoes. My wife picked a whole bunch of them already, but you see all the cherry tomatoes we have. Look at that. Oh man, they look amazing. Look at how that is good. Okay, but if you live in the city, you gotta monitor where you get the sunlight at, because only the back part of this gets morning sun. The rest of it is shade. This side of the house, you see, gets full sun. I actually want to put my solar panels up here on the side of the house, not on the top, on the side. I only got 4 of them, 48 volts. But I gotta do my backyard now, so excuse my backyard. But majority of the sun along the fence, majority of the sun over there. Now here's the thing, if this house had a dormer, I wouldn't get all that sun. I used to get full sun over here. With the fence, we no longer get the full sun over here, so we get full sun there, but this is going to be extended, or we're going to get a bigger garage this way. We don't know what's going on with that yet, so I didn't want to get that propagated too much and fill in over here yet, so I filled in over here. So for us, our whole goal is to have everything on the north side of our house edible. Okay, now getting back to these hostas over here, it's pretty crazy. You know how the hostas get the shoots, and then the shoots come up like this. I didn't cut this one yet. The shoots come up, and this is where the flowers are at. Well, when those shoots come up in the springtime, they're edible, and they say they taste like asparagus. Don't quote me 110%, Google it yourself. Now when you get the baby leaves for the hostas, they're edible. Virtually the whole plant is edible. Other countries have been doing it for centuries. So this right here is my go-to urban gardening. This right here is my go-to zombie apocalypse. All right, here's the rest of the video.